the 2025 early game combat only account guide. Welcome! This video is an update to the 2022 video of the same name, which means that you should watch that one before you watch this 2025 update. I will not be going over all of the basics that I covered in that video, as a majority of them are still relevant to this day. To start this video, I'm going to refer you to a few different locations for additional pieces of information. First off, you can check out our wiki, Combat Only Pure. You can search for 807 in the search box, hit enter, and it will pull up the page for you. You can join our Discord with the link in the description down below. We have various channels dedicated to 807 information, including a whole technology channel, which contains information about the various bosses and activities we have access to. And last but not least, if you have any questions that are not answered by those prior two options, you can join our in-game clan by joining 807 under the View Another Clan tab. So to begin with, I wanted to address game mode changes that have occurred since 2022. All of the Iron Man modes now have stackable clues, as well as the 1 hour despawn timer. This is as simple as picking up a clue scroll that you get dropped from a monster and then dropping it on the ground again, and it'll stay there for an hour. For access to stackable clues, you will want to complete X marks the spot, and I'm going to refer you to the Stackable Clues Wikipedia to figure out how to unlock a bigger stack of stackable clues yourself. And I probably threw up an image, but you know, that's besides the point. An additional plugin I would recommend for this account type is the Custom Menu Swaps plugin. With this plugin, you can hide unwanted skilling options like chop on trees, for example. I'll have you join our Discord for the list that we use. Remember, the link is in the description down below. A slight update to the early moneymakers. Recently, we discovered the PvP Arena Blighted Surge Sack method. In short, with this method, all you have to do is participate in the PvP arena. Whether you ult it or not, get as many points as you can, buy Blighted Surge Sacks, then PK yourself in the wilderness, and then run back and pick up your coins. Be wary of the 3-minute despawn timer of the coins, and of course, whoever kills you can see the cash stack too. So make sure they don't pick it up. A bit of a safer method is the World Hop Eclipse Red Wine method. All accounts have access to the Hunters Guild in the Varlamore area. The only requirement is to complete the Children of the Sun quest. You want to climb up to the top of the building that the Guildmaster is located in, and there you'll find the Eclipse Red Wines. You'll want to pick these up and world hop continuously until you fill up an inventory. You can bank them nearby. You'll want to use the bank chest. And then when you want to sell the wines, you'll have to fly on over to Alderan and sell to Moonrise Wines. The buy price is not affected by the stock quantity, so you can just essentially dump the wines. We have a new completable quest, the Children of the Sun. You may be able to tell from earlier, but this grants access to Varlamore. Partially completable quests include Horror from the Deep. I didn't mention this one in the first video, but you can start this quest and repair the bridge. You do not gain any construction XP, and the point of repairing the bridge would be to reduce the amount of agility experience you get when attempting to do clue scrolls located across the bridge. There are 3 separate ones. I believe one in the medium tier, one in the hard tier, and one Joral step in the master tier. And you'll also want to partially complete Twilight's Promise, which unlocks the default locations for the Quetzal Transportation Network. This will help you get around Varlamore much faster. Just make sure to use Quest Helper and make sure to pickpocket the correct individual, otherwise you may gain thieving XP. For mini quests, on the note of Alfred Grimhand's Bar Crawl, you no longer need to do this for vial smashing, as it has been relocated to these settings. However, you will still need to do it if you want to start Horror from the Deep, which, as I previously mentioned, is for the clue steps. So if you don't care, you don't have to do it. An amendment from the 2022 version: UIMs cannot use the Soul Bearer from Bear Your Soul. This was confirmed by a fellow 807. And last but not least, a new mini quest was added called His Faithful Servants, which grants you a 20,000 XP prayer lamp from doing one trip at Barrows. When it comes to Slayer blocks, just reference what's on screen right now. If you want a more in-depth explanation, I will attach a video that I made, the last video I made, which you can check out for more details. New food. Varlamore alcohol heals 16 plus 1 stat for example, Prayer, but it drains attack by 5 and another skill by 1. So optimally, you'll be using these when you're ranging or maging. In addition to early game gear, an adamant scimitar can be purchased in Civitas Illifortis, or Varlamore, from the Fortis Blacksmith. Early training methods. So, Favor does not exist anymore, but the Arceus library is still a great source of free magic experience. One of the new additions, Scurious, was a wonderful addition when you want to focus on XP gains. This is an early game boss, which you can start at around 50 combats, I'd say. And once you get those bone weapons, your experience goes through the roof, as you'll be able to one-tick attack the rat minions that spawn. That's not to mention that Scurious is a passive source of ranging potions, prayer potions, and medium clues, if those should interest you. And while Scurious can be started in the early game, that doesn't mean that it becomes irrelevant in the late game. As your gear and stats improve, the XP an hour you gain at the boss improves. More recently, the Gemstone Crab was introduced in the Tlati Rainforest as a sand crab alternative. You can AFK there for 10 minutes, gaining experience, and you can also use the nearby caves. They do not award agility experience. On the note of transportation, as mentioned earlier, you can partially complete Twilight's Promise to unlock part of the Quetzal transportation system. We now have access to the Giant Soul Amulet from the Royal Titans. This gives us a teleport to Obor, Bryophyta, and the Royal Titans. And we can't forget about the Gommel's Hilt, which is a God Wars dungeon teleport, or Trollheim teleport. In the 2022 video, I talked about the Wilderness, and now we do have access to the Voidwaker, as well as all of the Wilderness weapon upgrades, but they come from the multi-versions of the Wilderness bosses, because the demi-bosses are locked behind the medium Wilderness diary, which we can't complete. And I wanted to amend or add to your goals beyond early game. The medium combat achievements are an incredible goal for every combat-only account, which I would highly recommend you aim for. This gives you no prayer drain when you wear the hilt and do barrows. You get additional pest control points and Warriors Guild tokens, and you get that teleport to God Wars Dungeon or Trollheim for the clue steps. Truly an incredible item for combat-only accounts. And this is a new section that I wanted to include, new or things to look forward to since 2022. Scurious, which of course has already released, is an early game training method, all the way up and through to the end game. The Huicoatl recently had the Dragon Hunter wand buffed, and it is better than the Trident for Olm's Mage Hand, as well as Worm tasks, potentially Drakes, depending on your setup. We have access to the Royal Titans, which provide prayer upgrades, as well as the Twin Flame Staff and the aforementioned Giant Soul Amulet. With the combat achievement updates, we got access to God Wars Dungeon, namely Bandos and Zamorak. We can't access Armadil due to lacking a Mithril Grapple, and we can't access Saradomin in God Wars because it has an agility requirement. And last but not least, we can access the Colosseum. This content awards the Quiver, which is the best in slot range backpack. It provides best in slot prayer armor, an attachment for the Guardian Boots, which provides a recoil effect, and a defense draining range special attack weapon. At the start of the year, we had run energy changes, which helped greatly with our run energy regeneration rate. Bryophyta and Obor now only require 1 key each of their respective keys to fight permanently. Additional keys are now used for a loot chest inside of their instances. And most recently, as mentioned earlier in the video, Slayer was updated. Now each master has their own individual block list, and some rewards requiring points had their values reduced. The last point that I thought would be worthy to mention is the debate about which respawn point should you buy, Ferox or Edgeville. And in my opinion, your Iron Man mode does not matter when choosing Ferox. You see, this respawn acts as a budget player-owned house with a pool or the white portal to reset your HP, stats, prayer and run energy. If you hop to an LMS world, you can join LMS casual, and leaving that lobby area will reset your special attack energy. Alternatively, you can hop to a bounty hunter world and drink from the pool of refreshment. This will also restore your special attack. And last but not least, we even have a teleport portal to Castle Wars. Fun fact, if you're at Castle Wars and want to get back to Ferox Enclave, just hop to a free-to-play world and click on the door to teleport back to LMS. So that's been the updated combat-only guide for 2025, particularly for the early game. If you enjoyed it, be sure to click the relevant buttons below the video. Leave a comment what you think about the game mode, and I'll see you in the next one.